Do the Baltimore Ravens have a Zay Flowers problem? Maybe the better question is, does Zay Flowers have a Baltimore Ravens problem? If you're online, you may have seen some things over the last couple days. We'll get into that in today's show. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Joey Peterson. You're watching Ravens Rundown. So happy that you're here. Before we move on to any of this, we got a big sub battle this week, battling the top channel in chat sports. They've got over 190,000 subscribers, and yet we're so close to beating them in this week's sub battle. So if you're not subscribed, join the flock today. Hit that subscribe button. You'll get a show every single day. We'll be live for every single game of the season. It's the best place to be if you're a Ravens fan. So join the flock today. Hit that subscribe button, and let's catch and ultimately pass the Cowboys report. On to today's show. Zay Flowers retweeted this on Monday morning, and it kind of felt like the world stopped. Now, it's not on his profile anymore, but it was there for everybody to see. BA, no clue who that person is, tweeted second week in a row that he's had big first halves, and they stopped getting him the ball in the second. Zay Flowers, the man himself, retweeted that. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Joey, we've seen this before with Steve Smith, with Terrell Owens, with Randy. The list could go on and on and on and on of the dramatic wide receiver stereotype, right? We see it every single year, and we're going to see it to the end of time. Wide receivers, they're not going to change. But I don't think Zay Flowers fits into that category. And I don't think this situation fits into that category either. I think it's warranted, and I'll get into that in just a little bit. But if you look at the ways that he's been treated so far this year, and I don't want to say treated, but I think targeted is probably a better word. I'd be a little bit upset if I were Zay. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think he's being dramatic? And again, it's hard to say because we've just kind of seen the retweet. He's since deleted it. But you guys let me know. Is Zay being dramatic? You're about to be hit with the YouTube ad break. When you're sitting through that ad, make that time go by faster. Go to the pinned comment and reply for me. So this is why he's so upset. Because it seems in the most important parts of these games, he's not getting the ball in his hands. And if he's expected to be the wide receiver one of this team, he's a guy you want to get the ball in his hands, okay? Against the Kansas City Chiefs, he got one target in the fourth quarter. One. And things didn't change against Las Vegas. One target as well. And he had a hell of a game against Las Vegas, right? He had his best game so far this season. And yet, when the times mattered the most, when you needed to get your best players the ball, Lamar didn't give him the ball. And it's not like these are games that you're saying, okay, well, you probably had big leads. You probably just ran the ball a ton. Wide receivers don't get a lot of catches. And late in big games when you're winning. Both of those games were decided by one possession, and you still didn't give him the ball. And it's not like he's not getting targeted all this season either. That's the interesting part of it. He's getting targets. He's got like the fourth most in the NFL. He's got more targets than Tyreek Hill, Davante Adams, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson. He's got more targets than all these guys. But why isn't he being entrusted in the most crucial and the most important parts of the game? Why is Lamar Jackson not looking at him in the most crucial and the most important parts of this game? I don't know the answer to that. But let's talk about it, okay? Let's talk about it. Coming up in just a little bit, you'll hear another guy talk about it. His name's John Harbaugh. Don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's got some thoughts on what happened on Zay's social media. It's their usual Harbaugh thoughts, but we'll get into that in just a moment. But before we do, I have to give a big shout out to today's sponsor, and that, of course, is Factor. Factor is the place to go if you're looking to eat delicious food that's also good for you. Because eating better is easy with Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals. Every fresh, never frozen meal is chef-crafted, dietitian approved, and ready to go in just 2 minutes. You'll have over 35 different options to choose from every single week, including Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Also, there are more than 60 add-ons to help you stay fueled up and feeling good all day long. What are you waiting for? Get started today and get after your goals. Guys, not only are Factor's meals good for you, but they're also delicious. You just saw it on your screen right there. I want to talk to you about that roasted red pepper filet mignon because I thought my dad could cook a mean steak. I thought I could cook a mean steak. And boy, was I wrong. After I had that roasted red pepper filet mignon, man, I am never looking back. So head over to factormeals.com/RavensChat50 and use code RavensChat50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code RavensChat50 at factormeals.com/RavensChat50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is still active. And we've talked a lot about this so far and Zay's frustration. And you still might be thinking, Joey, part of it has to be on him, right? He has to be a big part of this. But when you look at the analytics, this is the highest percentage of targets with 3 or more yards of separation at the time of target. And that's not when the quarterback releases the ball. That's when it hits the wide receiver. 62%, right? So he's getting open. He's causing separation. I just don't know why, in the most crucial moments, he's not being looked at because it's pretty obvious he's open a lot of the times, right? Just look at that. 62% of the times, he's had 3 or more yards of separation at the time of target. Third highest in the NFL through 2 weeks. But I told you we're going to hear from John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh was asked about Zay Flowers on Monday. He said, not that I'm aware of, no, when he was asked about Zay's frustrations with the team. He says, Zay's been great. Had a great conversation with Zay. I'm not aware of any of that social media stuff. Such a classic Harbaugh answer, right? And I'm not saying that him saying that means it's true, right? That Zay is not upset and that he talked to him, but also doesn't mean it's not true, right? He's not going to come out and say, yeah, our star wide receiver's pretty pissed off. That's coaches don't do that, especially coaches like John Harbaugh don't do it. But at the end of the day, right, my take on this whole thing is I get Zay's frustration. I totally understand it. And if I was in his position, I'd feel the same way. Now I'm not. I run about a 5.6 40, so I'm not even close to being in his position. But if I were, I think I'd be just as frustrated as he is. Think about you and your job setting, wherever it is you work, whether it's finance, whether you're a teacher, whatever it is. If you do really well for the first, 3/4 of your job of that day or of that week, and yet you're not being leaned on and looked to in the most crucial moments of your job, say you're an accountant and you do amazing accounting work through the entire year, but yet when it's tax season, they're going to all the other accountants who aren't doing near what you're doing. That's the best way I can put it, right? So I get the frustration. I really do. And no, I don't think he's being too dramatic. So are we going to get a breakout game for Zay, right? Are we going to get one of those, I'm mad, I'm pissed off, I'm going to go ham? Are we going to get one of those games? 115 yards for Zay on Sunday. Over or under? Type O for over, type U for under. I think I'm going over. I think he's going to be awesome. So this is what I want to see. Speaking of Sunday, speaking of this game against the Cowboys, I want to see this offense run through Zay. And I know that the way you beat the Cowboys is often running the football, just like the Saints did. But I want this team and Todd Monken, Lamar Jackson, to show Zay Flowers, hey, look, we need you. We want you to get the ball in your hands. Because, guys, I'm not going to lie, after Zay Flowers, this wide receiver room isn't that great. I think Rashad Bateman and Nelson Aguilar are fine. I think they're good wide receivers. I think Zay's a step above them. So I want to see this offense run through Zay. I want to see more fourth quarter targets because I feel like this game against the Cowboys, it's not going to be a blowout either way. I think this is going to be a close game. So show Zay, right? Show him that you care for him, right? If you're John Harbaugh, if you're Todd Monken, if you're Lamar Jackson, prove to him that you trust him in these big moments. Get him more fourth quarter targets. He's also your best wide receiver. I just don't get why you wouldn't want your best weapon to have the ball in the fourth quarter. And my last one, I want Lamar to hit him on a deep ball. That's what I'm looking for. I want Lamar to sling it deep and hit him. Lamar struggled with the deep ball so far this season. I want to see him dial it up against Zay. I want to see their connection grow a little bit more because, again, it's only year 2. We expect a big jump from Zay, but you need the quarterback to trust him to do so. So those are the things I want to see. What I would love you guys to see is my social media profiles, okay? I'm the same username on both, Joey Peterson 8. Would love for you guys to follow me. Peterson, I will say, is a bit tricky. It's S-E-N at the end of that. It's not S-O-N. But go follow me on X. I'm tweeting about the Ravens every single day. I'm tweeting. I like to think I'm a little bit funny. You might not think so. Go check out my Twitter, see if I am. On my Instagram, I got awesome pictures of my dog, got awesome pictures of my wife. It's a great time. So go ahead, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, and I'll shout out, hey, how about live show? I'll shout out everybody who does it by noon Thursday. That's the ultimatum. Thanks so much for joining me. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you want to get a win on Sunday and if you want to beat the Cowboys report. Hit that subscribe button, join the flock, and you guys have a fantastic Wednesday.